we're going to look at collaboration. So reMarkable really markets itself as a platform for businesses and for teams. And they do have an option on the website, if you look at it, for purchasing. For a business, you can purchase a whole bundle of reMarkables, I guess at a kind of undisclosed discount for large teams buying them. They do have that option to buy them for your team. They're clearly wanting that to be a thing that you can do, but they only allow 3 devices on one account. And so far I can't see any way to actually share notebooks, and I would really like that. I think being able to make this a joint notebook would be a really interesting way to allow more collaboration on their tablets. Sure, in meetings, you can share a page, you can share your screen, and that can be pretty useful. You can also send out your notes by email as a PDF if you wish, but however, if you can imagine having to write in, at the end of the meeting, oh, don't worry everyone, I will send you the notes from today's meetings. What's your email address, Dave? What's your email address, Thomas? I just can't really see that myself. When we're used to, typing the first few letters or typing someone's name in a box and it just guessing, working out their email from your address book. I just don't think you'll be sharing the notes from the reMarkable directly in that way. And most people, if you're going to use the reMarkable for your meeting notes, I think you're going to end up having some kind of processing of them afterwards on a computer and then sending them out that way.
It does seem that there is very good news though if you are looking to use this in business, because not only were we talking about data security, which they acknowledge here, and they talk about it being hosted by Google, so that should be absolutely fine for most people. But if you scroll right down, Connect for Business beta, so actually they are planning on having a Connect subscription for many more users. So it remains to be seen what actually this will look like in terms of how much you can actually collaborate. But you can see here in this image, for example, 31 active seats. So that should be really, really good. And I think that's what they need to do to make it much more compelling for business users. Exciting times.
It's great for what I'm currently using it for. It's great for personal note taking, and I'm currently using it just as my desk note taker. So this is me for the next few days, things that I need to sort of work with, video ideas and things that I'm doing in the next little while. Some ideas here. This was me working. I was spending a bit of time working on my sort of like content strategy for the next little while, and yeah, I had a good time, and I enjoyed sort of jotting down notes and my thinking as I go. I have also used this as my personal planner. Here's my 2 weeks planning that I did on it, and I did enjoy that. It was good. For my school day, here's my planning that I did for my school day. I've gone off to the side there, and I do like this because this is actually going back to the workflow that I did. I started with on the reMarkable 1. This was the workflow that I used then, where I had a PDF of my school week, and I just sort of annotated as I went onto that. And you can see I'm also able to essentially just quick notes for my lessons down the side and then back to my planner. This was really, really nice. However, when I went back to an Android tablet, and I'm currently daily driving the Viwoods Mini, and of course on that I can just have OneNote. So going back to that and working on something that's truly cross-platform, working in a kind of collaborative space like the Microsoft Cloud apps, I think that is the reason why Boox for collaboration, because it's full Android, because you've got the Google Play Store, you don't even have to sideload OneNote like you do on the Viwoods. You've got access to Google Play Store, and you've got access to your badged work app. You can sign into your own personal accounts for things and your work accounts things in separate instances. And that is, for me, for collaboration, it's just streets ahead. It always has been. One of the biggest swingers for Boox for me is look at my work apps here. These are signed in for me at my school. And then my separate OneNote account, apps, my separate email account, Word account, my separate Google accounts and things like that. That is worth its weight for me, being able to work between those two things. And of course, if you're signed in a Google Play Store account, if you're signed in to your work's Microsoft Cloud, then all the data is Google Play Protect and it's only in the Microsoft Cloud, the data, and it's all certified by Google Play Protect. So that is as secure as you're going to get on any other Android tablet, in my opinion. I wouldn't worry too much about that unless you're working like for a government agency and it's sort of ultra sensitive materials. Then in those cases, you're going to be working on the devices they've given to you anyway, aren't they? But for instance, if for collaboration, you can use Boox and you can work with the Boox wherever your team works. You can work in whatever apps, whatever cloud space they work. If it's got an Android app, you can use it. Perhaps you need messaging apps. Perhaps you need to upload and to download from web locations. Perhaps you need to send files onto web servers, for instance. Perhaps you want to actually put your notes from your minutes into Chat GPT and just have it actually work those notes into minutes. Or perhaps you want to use Otter. I don't know if I've used it on this particular book. Yeah, there's Otter right there. Perhaps you want to record your meeting in Otter and send it out that way and actually have a collaborative account in any space like that. You can also have up to 10 Boox devices on one account. So if you're a team like that, you can actually have 10 devices on the same account. You can have the exact same notebooks collaborate in real time on those. Now, don't ask me how I know that the limit is 10 Boox devices on one account, but that is the limit that you have, which is enough, isn't it? And you can also log out of an account on Boox. You could be logged into your personal account and then log out of that and then log into a team account when you need to access team notebooks. So I have professionals who tell me that they run a shared account with their team, and they actually leave instructions to their team members as voice notes on a shared note file. So you can just attach to any note file at all. You can just attach a little voice note. Is it in more at this point? Have I got rid of it? Because it's something I don't often use. Yeah, recorder. And so you could literally record something and put a thing like, Timmy, do this, you know, and that would be a way that you could actually work with that. And also I have people who tell me that they can do this and they work on their Google and their Microsoft Cloud things as well, which I think is actually more common in a way. This device is built for collaboration. The reMarkable is built for the individual professional. And it might make sense if you're the leader and if the only collaboration you need to do is to have people send you things that you need to check, then of course you can use that send to Word option and you can have people send me a document you need to review and you can sign off on it and you can scribble on it and send it back if you like. Sure, there are ways of doing that. But if you're working as a team of sort of peers, then I don't think that is the way that you're going to work. That's not the way we collaborate in the 21st century. So for true team work and collaboration, I don't know if I'm going to get any arguments at all. Let me know. I think Boox is definitely going to get the collaboration mark. And scribble it in pink. Why not? So we've got professional people here on the stream. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think this is why, Ed, I'm talking a lot about sort of me being these two types of people. I'm the type of person that wants that uninterrupted time to sit with a focused device, but I'm also the type of person that needs and likes thinking about things on a walk and just being able to continue something in a cloud space where I can access from a variety of different places. So support for professional. Now, I almost gave this one to reMarkable because it is a really elegant solution for what it actually does. So I really wanted to give it, I really thought, yeah, man, this is a really professional device. For what it does, it's very elegant, but really that is only for being your notebook and planner. And I can really understand in today's kind of professional landscape why you would want something which is really focused on that one task. I understand the urge to see a device as distraction free, but I would far rather you think about your kind of workflow and your life as distraction free and finding those bits of time where you can work in that focused way. I really like that this is focused for your personal notes. I do think having a digital notepad next to your keyboard is a very compelling place. And people like that this isn't trying to replicate all that you can do on your laptop, and I can see that. It is a very compelling argument. My professional friends and colleagues, they always ask about encryption, and many of them work for banks and they work for government departments and things, and I'm sure that reMarkable would actually help companies like that to make their data secure. So if you get in contact and you buy through their kind of business links, they will help you make sure the data is being handled in a way that you are satisfied with. I do also think in the books world, because you are using, I'm complying with my company's data policy. Why is it struggling here? I don't know where my Android buttons have gone. From there they are. I comply with my company's data policy because they're happy as long as it is in a Android device that's managed by Microsoft Intune, where I have these badged work things where I'm signed in to those accounts. It's got a password on, so they're happy with that, and they can sort of reach in and make sure that data is secure and nobody can get into those if I were to lose this device, for instance, as well. The data is handled by the app, it's handled by Google Play Protect. For most places, everything except the most sensitive things, I think you'd be fine on either platform, actually. But I do know that there is, for some of those people, the mere mention that this is a Chinese-owned company, for instance, it was, oh no, we wouldn't be going there. So I'm happy that my data, at the level that I use data protection, is perfectly fine. But as a professional, why can't I give this to the reMarkable? I think you need to be able to capture, store, and use your knowledge, use your thinking about your ideas into a wide range of cloud apps and locations, and you just can't do that with reMarkable. And I think most of the time you'll be stuck emailing things to yourself, and that's a really outmoded way of working. You can use their free apps, and their free apps are good. They are desktop, web, and mobile, and they've improved them as well. It was an issue where if you copied out of the mobile app, you got these funny little squares after every line, and you had to go through and delete all those. So you can copy and paste out of those apps, and they are working better now. They are good, they're easy to use apps. That's all you need is one place to store your things and get at them on those free platforms. They're good. Many professionals will also like the handwriting recognition option. Let's see how it does with this page. We did one a little bit earlier on as well in the stream. Let's see if it gets those. It typically isn't as good when you're using the paintbrush, incidentally, handwriting recognition. I bet it's not too bad at actually doing that handwriting recognition even with the paintbrush. But again, it's kind of like it makes a whole new page, and then if you change this, you have to recognize it again, and it makes another new page, whereas the way they do that in the Supernote is better. So I'm not comparing reMarkable with Supernote today. It's not done too badly, actually. Generally, the feature set for professionals is going to be better on the books. I like the handwriting recognition, and that I like that workflow that you can then open up the type folio. It is a very professional looking thing. Work up those, and then yes, you can email that out to your group, but really typing in everyone's email address and things is just not something that you're going to want to be able to do. You're not automatically recognizing a whole email group, or otherwise, on the books you can just say, well, the notes from this meeting, they're saved in that cloud location where everyone likes to go. So I think books do get it. And it's not just about the integrations, I'll talk more about that in the next section as well. It's the whole feature set. Boox gives you access to microphones, to speakers. You can set up Bluetooth. You can screen share in a variety of different ways, so it's more likely to suit you in your setting that you have. It's more likely to be able to work with whatever meeting room setup that you have. You can send to reMarkable from PowerPoint and Word and Chrome. Although remember, all of those only come through as a PDF, which you can mark up and email back. You can't actually use those apps. They're not true integrations. Whereas here, I can use those apps in their entirety. I can work on Excel, I can work on Teams, go into browsers and things. I can do just about everything on the Boox Go 10.3 that you can on a phone or another tablet. reMarkable can only ever be a periphery device, and that's its biggest weakness, in my opinion. It's a companion to your laptop, tablet and phone, whereas Boox can do all those things and do them in one place. So you can carry one e-paper device into your meeting, and you can be confident you can be able to access everything that you need to. And I do this a lot. Okay, so it's not like I'm just saying it's possible. I actually still, for one of my regular meetings, I still use, because it's all set up and got all those notes in there, I still use the original Tab Ultra C and love it. It does everything for me. I can access emails on that. I can use the cloud locations for our shared notes, read the minutes on that device, annotate things, send that back, collaborate on documents within that setting. I'm just logged into that particular account on that device, so I still use that one. You can action items from that boardroom table, whereas this, if you want to be doing actions from the meeting, and that's my sort of main goal of any meeting, is any actions, let's get them started in that meeting, you need to have another device to do that. Otherwise, you're leaving that with your to-do list, and that isn't a very sensible way to be a professional, I think, personally, in the 21st century. But let's not forget, though, that many professionals, they like the fact that the reMarkable isn't a device that they can do that on. It's not another device they can do everything on. That's why this section is close, and lots of people select this device as an extra, as a periphery, because they are replacing something like the legal pad. Absolutely, they're replacing something like a notepad. They were using that anyway, and they wanted to replace that, and absolutely. Yeah, sure, it only needs to be typed once though, but if you're in the Microsoft Cloud, you don't need to type it. You don't need to type it once. If I was emailing you, Gary, I'd write GAR, I'm sure it would find you, and I'd press enter and it'd be sent, and we'd be off to have our cup of coffee. This is your live voting. Where are we up to? 159 votes. reMarkable clawing back, aren't they, really? Now we're 7-3. Let's go in, let's fire in. Integration. So you can't even drag and drop in a JPEG or PNG into your notes here. You can't do that on your device, you can't do that on the desktop app, you can't put a JPEG, you can't open a JPEG on this device. So if I go to the Google Drive integration here, you can see it's just an absolute slew of things that it can't open. Now guys, are you really telling me all these JPEGs here, it just can't, it's not compatible with that document? So are you really telling me, reMarkable, that you think that opening pictures is distracting on this device? The ability to just put a image directly into my notes, that's distracting. So the reason you've left that out is because that's distracting. Now you're left using the workaround, I'm not sure where it's gone now, of actually putting images into PowerPoint and then doing a send to reMarkable by PowerPoint. So it can clearly handle those images, they just can't be bothered to give you the basic feature of copying and pasting images into your notes. And this is a color e-ink screen. This is the advanced e-paper. This is the best color e-ink technology that there is out there, and yet they can't let you just copy and paste in a picture, a JPEG or a PNG. You can export as PNG, but for some reason you can't just put an image in. So they have this Word and PowerPoint integration, and they also have the Read on reMarkable plugin for Chrome, which is good. But again, that doesn't put in any images for some reason. It does have the integration of OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Drive as well, but those are just import and export. There's no way to work on live files. So you're stuck, again, managing versions. So you can download a file, you can work on it and export it back. You can export in PDF, PNG or SVG format. Okay, which is good. This is one of the few ones that you can export in scaled vector graphics, which is very useful for artists. But you can't even choose which folder to export it to. It just exports to that root of that drive, and then you have to use that other device to move it around. Earlier on, at least they fixed this now, because actually in the reMarkable 2, when I did a Google Drive integration, it actually couldn't actually open all of Google Drive. It actually crashed the machine. You see, I've got quite a lot in my Google Drive. It couldn't index them all, so at least it can handle that now as well. So that's good. But it had an issue as well where it had lost access to my Google Drive. I probably just timed out the length of time I hadn't been there. And I actually couldn't renew it. I went to renew it and it wouldn't let me do it. And then I had this thing here telling me renew your access. I went and followed the instructions on the cloud location and renewed my access to it through Google, and it wouldn't work. And then the only way that I could actually get that to work eventually was to delete my original integration and then start it again. And now it does work and it works fine. But there you are. If you let it time out, if you let Google sort of time out its permission to access Google Drive, you might have to actually just delete the whole integration and start again. So it just feels unfinished. Why can't I save one of my notes files up here, or one of my PDFs that I'm marking up, save it in that cloud location and work on it live? I don't know. It feels very unfinished. It would be a great place to read comic books, but you can't read the comic book e-reader file. So you're stuck trying to find PDFs of comics, which I have got a few, and they look great on here. And by popular request, here is a paper copy of Watchmen for us to compare to. Just find any old page, but you can see the pictures here. Okay, I'll find page 94, it'll probably be easier to find page 94 on here. Oh no, I've just got the first as a PDF here. Let's find the page 8 then, yeah. But I mean, it is like there is no denying that the new technology, the advanced e-paper, is better, and it does look closer to the real thing. There is no denying than Kaleido 3. It does look really, really good. I will bring this out again in another comparison between the two, but it doesn't look perfect. It's not like exactly like you would expect paper to look, but you can see the yellows are very true, and yeah, there's lots of detail, and it's actually about the same size as this comic, so that is good as well. So really, really top drawer. I'll bring some more comparisons with that one there, but that was a request, or rather it wasn't a request, I was really disappointed when you didn't have that ready to bring out in my previous comparisons. But if it's so good at reading comics, why not give us access to CBR file format so we can actually make it a really great ebook reader of all sorts rather than just that? So we are talking about integration though, and all of the above. Well, you can just integrate this with those, because you can just work on a Google Drive. If I want to export that to Google Drive, I can just share it, and it will give me the option to share it within the apps that I've got saved, and I can put it in any folder within that I like, because that is how an Android tablet works. And they could have chosen to build this within Android and still kept it very distraction free, but they didn't. They chose to make it the Linux OS, and that means that I have to give the integration, of course, to the Boox tablet.